10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, showtime.
Good afternoon and greetings to you all, to the viewers, listeners, on the Primal 4K app, Facebook, YouTube. I want to welcome you all again to Primal Sports Center. I'm your host, Dale.
And I'm Kane, the Schwab Watson. You know what time it is? As Dale said, it's time for Primal Sports Center. And, you know, nobody does better than us, I think.
Yep.
In our view, we bring it to you live and direct of sports news all around the world. But, I mean, we have to kick things off by telling you the lineup for today, Dale.
All right, so we're gonna have a very interesting guest. You know, been creating shock waves over social media about his comment and the whole cricket. So it will be Chris Dehring, former CEO of Cricket World Cup in 2007.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know. He played sports because everybody see him in the whole business and entrepreneurship and all that. But I mean, we have a few questions to ask him about his sporting career. What we know is a avid sports fan, probably goes to every FIFA World Cup, and I mean, he has ties to cricket as well. And growing up, we heard that he represented Jamaica in both football and cricket. Not a lot of people can boast that up to the under 20 level. So I mean,
that's news to me because I've never heard of this one before.
Yeah, and I mean, I did a bit of research, but yet still want to hear from him on his exploits growing up. And already, ex-champion.
Yeah, but I tell you, social media is a good thing these days, because I tell you, you can make one statement and all of a sudden you become
viral.
The most popular.
Yeah, but even so on his statement, because he made a statement saying that he thinks that Jamaica should branch off from the West Indies.
Yeah, that's a big statement.
And I'm in total agreement with that. Because when you see the likes of Holland and Uganda playing cricket and, you know, I mean, Bangladesh is a big country with a lot of people, but we have countries out there that play cricket and West Indies play against these countries. So why not?
And I think the big thing is the fact that T20 will be in the Olympics from 2028.
Yeah, because even so, West Indies, can you imagine West Indies?
More convenient now to
West Indies have a flag, right? And West Indies flag will be up at the Olympics.
While Jamaica is there.
Yeah,
so
Jamaica,
I guess we will hear from him in about maybe 5 minutes. So
I think we can branch off from everything. We can play test cricket. We can be a test cricket nation. So
I wouldn't think if we branch off.
View.
I don't think we would have branch off just for T20. It would be a full
total
separation.
branch off.
Yeah.
We want to, but it's not.
And trust me, I think Guyana and Trinidad will love it as well.
So. And Barbados.
Yeah, exactly.
Barbados love cricket.
You know?
Barbados, that are probably them national sport.
Yeah.
But I mean, probably the lesser islands would suffer for that. But I mean,
let's see. And then we'll hear his views and his reasoning behind that statement.
It should be an interesting interview.
What a big thing in the national stadium yesterday.
I mean,
we had
that was the highlight
last week, and he promised Mona.
Yeah, Mona Pride.
The Mona Pride, the Manning Cup title, and he did deliver with his promise. A great achievement from my perspective.
Big achievement.
A lot of people might play it down, but I think it's a great achievement, you know.
Because Mona is not a school known for their sporting prowess, so to say, and for them to lift the Manning Cup and with Craig Butler at the helm, it's a big achievement.
Yes.
I mean, he went to the semifinals last year, first times finalist this year, and lifting a trophy. I mean, I said one CB chicken. Yeah. Craig Butler, I tell you, hats off to Craig Butler, and I mean,
he's a pioneer, man.
Doing great things.
Setting the blueprint for how things should be done, football-wise. That is, and not just on the pitch, but off the pitch in terms of marketing players and you know.
I mean, you know, the controversial figures are usually the ones that strive for greatness and leave an indelible mark wherever they go, because when you look at the likes of Liam Bailey, Whisper now going to Chelsea, finally arriving to Chelsea and in a training setup right there, and Liam Bailey in the form of his life, and to know that they come out to the Phoenix Academic Camp. I remember, because I'm a past UTech student and used to be up by UTech there with some little kids in the front of the field, and to see where it moved from that to where it is now. I mean, sticking with it and trusting, a visionary.
So Craig was by UTech? Or
Yeah.
Phoenix was by the
Well, I don't know if it was the name of it was Phoenix there, but I used to see him with kids.
That's where he was. Well,
And I'm telling you, like from 2005, thereabouts. I don't remember exactly, but I mean, probably 20 years ago.
I guess everything started, all the great things started up by UTech campus, man, because that's where Stephen Francis kicked off things with MVP. So it looked like it's
there you go. Yeah, well, I mean,
is a college where everything starts.
I know Stephen Francis is another controversial figure
he's similar to Craig. He's just like Craig. If you
just
ask
don't
me.
talk from anybody. And
yeah, man.
Just do him own thing and believe and trust me.
But and when you really look at it, both of them did practically the same thing. Yeah. They showed Jamaicans that it can be done
locally.
Exactly, it can
with
be
the
done.
talent here, and
and
it's where them grow from strength to strength, and now, producing world-class talent. Because Liam Bailey is a world-class player.
Well,
Whisper is on that trajectory. Former his life scoring early in the week. Now assisting the goal. Aston Villa beating Arsenal. Aston Villa in the top 4, is it? I think Aston Villa is in the top 4.
Scoring the goal to beat City early in the week?
Early in the week.
Wow.
And assisting the goal today to beat Arsenal. So, Liam Bailey is on the farm of his life. So, and that's why you science critics, because him kind of under hot water with playing in Jamaica colors. Go out there and play football.
I think that was a good point by Butler, even last week when he was explaining the reasons for maybe Leon's non-showing when he's representing
the attention
Jamaica.
He gets
his attention
versus when he plays at Aston Villa, and I guess with better quality players around him, and the system Aston Villa said plays a system, whereas Jamaica doesn't really play a system. So
Well, Matei said that the Facebook and the social media thing blowing up.
Yeah.
Everybody want Craig to become the head coach. I think even our I was about to mention you, Peter, because I know you're one of them who's advocating for Mr. Butler to take over the national duties.
Well, he's going from strength to strength, and as I said, he definitely has a blueprint of getting success. And developing successful players, because I see players on the Mona team that, definitely Phoenix players, and they're on a trajectory of being, elite footballers, and he has connections all over the world, Malta, Belgium. So with the likes of his connections, we can get players in Europe more regularly. So.
All right, people now, let us welcome to Primal Sports, the former CEO of Cricket World Cup 2007, Chris Dehring. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Dehring, and thanks for taking the time out to this interview. But we kick things off of getting some background of your sporting career. Because, people see you in the news and know you through business and entrepreneurship and all of that, but a lot of people didn't know that,
including us. We didn't know that
you are very versed in playing sports.
You have some talent.
So some people might not know that. So you probably don't want to toot your own harm, but to play at the national level up to under 20, that's what my research tells me. You used to play cricket and football for Jamaica.
Yeah, in fact, when I think of myself, I still think of myself as a footballer and cricketer.
There you go.
That was. When I would walk into the national stadium, a man said, "Baller," I turn around.
It is right.
And it's funny because obviously with so many years have passed since then that most people don't know me for that. And in fact, sometimes it's quite funny when people will talk about football and say, "What you know about football?"
There you go.
So I played up to under 20 with both national teams. I was actually called for the national Reggae Boys squad once when I was playing in college, but back in those days, you really couldn't take off from college to come back to try play a World Cup qualifier, and you don't even know if you're going to be, make the final 11 or the final squad. You couldn't just leave college like that. But I was playing college football. I took up a soccer scholarship, and and the reality is that I credit people like Jeffrey Dejan and another little man from the Leeward Islands with making me go away to college to take up a degree, because I was playing with Dujan at Kingston Club against Bermuda.
Mm-hmm.
And when the ball was swinging around and I said Jeffrey Dujan, the way how him was angling the swinging ball and stroking it all over the park, I said, boy, there's a talent gap here. Eh? I have really good technique, and I'm batting number 3 for the Jamaica youth side, with Courtney Walsh and Patrick Patterson and them guys. So you think you're good, and you think you're on this ladder towards West Indies. And then we play against Leeward Islands, and I see a little man that I say, boy. When he was finished with Patrick Patterson and Courtney Walsh, I say, yeah. I see the talent gap. Man named Richie Richardson.
So which one you preferred? Football or cricket? Which one you think you were better at?
I don't know. I was probably better at football. Let's put it this way. They're two different things. There's a sport, which is football. I love football probably more as a sport. And I played that mostly. And in fact, I was getting called to the national under-19 trials every year, but I was so busy with the national football team, which I preferred. And it was only the last year where I said, you know what, I've been doing this football thing, and I do every year that they get called to national trials for cricket, I don't go. I'm going to try this last year, you know. But so that's football. The sport is probably my favorite sport. It is my favorite sport. But West Indies cricket, not cricket. West Indies cricket was a passion. Is an institution. It's bigger than the sport. You know. I can't just stand up and watch any cricket match. I can probably stand up and watch any football match.
Yeah. I get you. Only if West Indies is probably playing now.
If West Indies is playing, or somebody of interest, some batting stylist that you want particular see, kind of thing. But you can stand up and watch any football match, Manning Cup and the Costa Cup, and, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can understand totally.
So you came up in that time. You mentioned cricket. I hear you mention Walsh. What up, Walsh and these guys? You were around in that time.
Yeah, man. Those were my contemporaries in the Jamaica under-19 team. Patrick Patterson, Courtney Walsh, Robert Haynes. We had Wayne Lewis and Franz Cunningham. And really solid team.
But you toured, right? You toured with so you saw Ambrose?
Ambrose did not make the Leeward Islands under-19 team.
Okay.
Apparently he went to the trials but didn't make it. But he would have played in my time. Phil Simmons, Roger Harper, Gus Logie.
What?
David Williams was keeping for Trinidad. In fact, David Williams teased me out, but
yeah.
So who's the best batsman you witnessed in that time? The best bat?
No, in my time, listen, my idol was Lawrence Rowe. Yaga Rowe was something. He brought me into cricket. I saw his double century and century and test debut as a little boy, and just idolized him, and I modeled myself off of him. In fact, everybody used to call me Little Yaga. And in fact, I ended up in a match against Kensington one year where Basil Williams was at first slip on, Herbert Chang was at leg slip on, Richard Austin was playing, and when Errol Wilson bowled the ball to me, I'd just come back from college, and I played forward. I heard everybody laughing on the field, and they're like talking to Rowe, who was on the field, and they go, "Sit there, Yaga, sit there." I tell him, look just like you. But subconsciously, you idolize somebody so much that you're almost imitating his mannerisms and trying to look like him, trying to walk like him. I was whistling because Yaga used to whistle when he batted, so I would try and whistle like him. I turned up my peak like him. And it was a bit of a joke to everybody, but obviously I did not the same talent like him.
All right, so fast forward now to you made a bold statement earlier.
Yeah, and even a while ago you said the West Indies is what you're passionate about. But you made a statement that you want to break off from the West Indies.
You would think that Jamaica...
Never said that, never implied that, never indicated that. And that is, to me, that is the crux of the issue.
Yeah.
That you can't examine West Indies cricket without an immediate emotional response without anybody wanting to listen, examine, explore what is being said in a forthright, open discussion.
There you go.
And I've noticed that since my very earliest involvement in West Indies cricket, there's just this, and I get it. There's this love because I feel it. I am emotionally attached and invested in West Indies cricket. It was what made me walk around with a sense of pride. I would be listening to my radio at night when they tour in Australia, and I would bat along with the batsmen, in my bedroom. They run a single, I'd run a single. You know what I mean? So I'm vested in West Indies cricket. The challenge is that West Indies cricket, as we know it, is on a downward spiral. And unless you try and examine exactly what has happened to West Indies cricket, what is happening in world cricket, you have to put it in that context of world cricket, what is happening in all the other countries, you're not going to be able to explore, suggest, discuss solutions, potential solutions to our situation. And so I've never said we must break up West Indies cricket. That's ridiculous. That is a knee-jerk emotional reaction to what I'm talking about. Jamaica and Barbados and those other countries, we used to play against each other. So what is any difference to what I'm suggesting? All I'm saying is that in the modern paradigm, there used to be something at stake when Jamaica played Barbados at Savannah Park. We were kings of the world as West Indies cricket. And so whoever was kings of the Caribbean meant something. And so thousands of people would turn up at Savannah Park because this was a game of importance. Who won last year's regional one-day tournament?
Don't know.
That's my point. Nobody knows, nobody cares. Actually, Jamaica won.
Yeah.
Most
right?
people wouldn't know.
Jamaica just won down to 19.
Would not know.
Who knows? Who cares?
Yes,
exactly.
Because what has happened is that the world has changed, right? There's many more distractions, many more championships. What has also happened in every other country, cricket playing country, is a phenomenon called T20, which I don't even classify as cricket. Cricket is test on one day, right? T20 is a phenomenon. And what is happening because of T20 is this incredible growth that's taking place in every other cricket playing country. And my problem is that I have seen it. I have been international. I've been into those countries. I see the development programs. And us here in the West Indies, we still think it's a little bat and ball. So we're still practicing Sunlight Cup or Sunlight Cup cricket or Grey Shield or whatever the latest name is. That practice session is the same way it is practiced 50 years ago when I was playing. Do you really think you can produce an elite professional athlete today the same way you produced them 50 years ago?
Impossible, no. You have to evolve with the time.
Then you're telling me cricket is the most unique sport in the world.
That would be an anomaly.
I have seen, listen, when I worked in the Cricket World Cup in South Africa, and that was a moment, that was the final sort of aha moment for me that the future is scary. And this is 20 years ago, 2002. Because when Ali Bakr circulated the list of practice venues for the World Cup, the teams are going to be, there's like a week and a half warm-up period, so that each team is assigned a practice venue and so on. And I saw beside the West Indies name, this is 2002, I saw beside the West Indies name, something Stroom High School. Well, I was enraged. How you mean to disrespect the West Indies that you're going to give them a high school cricket ground as our practice venue? Because in my mind, I'm thinking Woolmers or JC or Camden High School. I flew around to Ali Bakr office in a rage, I threw the thing on him desk and said, Ali, what kind of nonsense is this? And he said, Chris, you don't understand. This is the high school where Jack Callis and Herschel Gibbs went to. When we get down to Cape Town, I'll get my driver to carry you down to the venue, to the practice facility, so you can report back to the West Indies Cricket Board that this is a first-class facility, like every other facility. But when we got down there, when we drove through the gates, I couldn't even believe it was a high school. And then we drove past cricket ground after cricket ground. Every one of the cricket grounds I drove past was better than any cricket ground in the Caribbean at the time, because we hadn't really redeveloped our grounds yet for World Cup. There are 5 cricket grounds in this high school. 2 of them have lights.
Oh.
So, they're practicing them under 50, them inter-house farm match. They have night cricket, right?
Yeah.
And pavilions and stands. Then we went to the practice facilities, because those are the practice facilities. The practice facilities. I've never seen anything like this before, even at professional level, right? Well, I'd seen it in the pro, but I couldn't imagine this was a high school practice facility with all the bowling machines lined up, the 14 nets and so on. And then they take me to the indoor net facility where they hook up the little boys to the electrodes and things. So the 3D imaging come out on screen. So they do 200 square cut against the bowling machine and they work out all the flaws. And I'm like saying, my God, this is how cricketers, just like professional golfers, just like a professional tennis players, and they're being manufactured now because it's now big business.
Yes, sports is a business. Yeah.
It's the second biggest sport in the world.
Yeah.
So we think and then we were spoiled because of our glory days where we knock out 15 minutes. Jeffrey Dujon played club cricket with me. Well, we all know what a great cricketer Dujon was. A great batsman, great wicketkeeper. But Jeffrey Dujon would have practiced the same amount during the week as I would have. Probably 15, 20 minutes knock up in the nets in total, and then you play a weekend match. Senior Cup cricket. Yeah. Right? He might make 100, so he get a little bit more batting practice. I might make 30, but that is not how professional cricketers are developed now. And yes, when he got into the international team and that kind of thing, he would have been much more developed and so on a day-to-day basis. But it's the preparatory 15, 20 years that we are totally behind the 8 ball. And what has happened, I always tell people, you can correlate the decline of West Indies cricket with the dramatic growth in television rights from the 90s. As revenue started to go north for every other cricket playing country, because we are 5 million poor people in the Caribbean that have no television market, we were getting zilch.
Hold on, quick. What was your suggestion? Because for them to just take that out of the blue and say, you say break away from cricket, from West Indies cricket.
What I've been saying for the longest time, there are 2 things that you must have in order to compete now internationally on a consistent basis. Your commercial revenues, your commercial resources and revenues, and your national resources and revenues. Because of the size of the West Indies, 5 million poor people, essentially, your domestic commercial revenues are always going to be challenged. And then the ICC financial model does not allow the West Indies to participate in the global revenues of cricket. They basically say you must just have your revenues from your domestic home market, which is little or nothing. Okay? So the commercial side of it is challenged. The national side of it, the national resources side, is equally challenged because there's no such country called West Indies. There's no government behind it. There's no national infrastructure behind it. There are no national institutions behind it because it's this nebulous thing called the West Indies. So so Jamaican taxpayers will never support Jamaican government and schools and so on, getting all behind and investing in the West Indies team. In fact, we had negotiated a deal with the Caribbean governments that each country would contribute annually to the West Indies Cricket Board. it lasted 1 year. Jamaica and Trinidad made their contribution, 70,000 US each. Nobody else made a contribution. That was the end of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've said, what does it take to generate national resources?
Mm-hmm.
You need a national team playing on the international stage.
Global.
All rally behind our Olympic team. They're running in the Olympics and the World Championships.
Yeah.
Why you're able at the national level to generate resources, whether it be sponsors, broadcast rights, interest, public support, passion.
So in other words, your suggestion is that you will not break away from West Indies cricket, but maybe T20, the version of the...
Correct. And reason I picked T20
because
I was projecting that because of the revenues of T20, the Olympics was going to come calling sooner or later.
And 2028.
And we know that 2028
T20 will be introduced.
Yeah. It is going to start, and we are going to participate as Jamaica. You're not allowed to participate as West Indies.
West Indies, yeah.
And Jamaica has such a proud history in the Olympics. I can't see Jamaica giving up Jamaica participating and going as the West Indies.
West Indies,
exactly.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start playing T20 anyway nationally.
Yes.
Whether we qualify or not, that's not the issue. But I'm not talking about just one Olympics. Olympics is, we think about the Olympics 20 years from now. We not try and qualify.
Why not start from now? Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. But then you start to think about look at our track and field opportunity. Every 2 years, we participate in the World Track and Field Championships, and every 4 years in the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why not then, when you look at the teams that are participating in the T20 World Cup next year, something is very wrong to me when I look at the list of teams and I see Oman, Papua New Guinea, Canada. None of these countries have contributed to world cricket like the countries of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
They are the ones that are now being allowed to parade their country and their brand. And from that, they're going to be able to generate national resources to support their cricket teams, right?
Yes.
When the West Indies is nobody's brand and nobody benefits from it. And therefore, we can't generate the national resources needed. And I saw it with the Netherlands in particular somewhere around 1999, 2000. The Netherlands president back then gave a presentation which I saw. And he spoke about where they were going to take the Netherlands cricket and how they're organizing the schools in the Netherlands. And I remember just scoffing at it and laughing. Well, look where the Netherlands is today because of that national program. They're beating us.
Yeah. As the West Indies.
Well,
as the West Indies.
As the West,
no, that you put it this way, I kind of agree with you because at first I wasn't fully on board when you said breakaway totally because I was wondering how you're going to maintain.
Never ever said that. I said let's play.
So I'm glad that you cleared that up.
We'll play T20 anyway, individually.
Yes.
And so every 4 years.
Yes.
Why can't we then also have T20 World Cup qualifiers organized by Cricket West Indies, same way, like CONCACAF organizes the FIFA World Cup qualifiers and the Olympic qualifiers. So that's the umbrella, still the umbrella organization.
Okay,
and you're structuring yourselves a little different so that nationally you can see if you can start generating resources for the sport, which will obviously most benefit the West Indies. If you want to still play Test cricket and one-day internationals and so on.
Are you a part of the Jamaica Cricket Board?
No.
I was about to ask you why we didn't bid for to host even a game for next year.
Well, that's a job for
Yeah.
The truth is, I did express.
I'm a bit disappointed with that one.
I was happy we didn't put in a last-minute bid because the reality is that we're very good hosts. I know we have easily the capability of hosting these events.
Yes.
What we're not good at, because the reality is that there's no sports business in the Caribbean. We don't understand how to extrapolate the value from these events. We don't.
Yeah, because
when you hear debates, people talking about, it's good we didn't host because we wouldn't have gotten any West Indies matches or wouldn't have gotten any big matches. listen, Qatar didn't make it this time, but if Qatar had made it or Saudi Arabia had made it, people understand what happens when Saudi Arabia, the sovereign wealth fund of these countries, take an interest in your country. I would love Qatar to be playing at Sabina Park, and we invite the Emir, who's a big cricket fan.
Of course, more eyes open up on Jamaica.
Wine and dine him until him leave us with a couple $100 million to invest in something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how it works. That's how these guys do it. You know, I'll give you a funny story. I don't know if you guys follow business, but Microsoft CEO, a guy called Satya Nadella, who's Indian, and he's one of the investors in Major League Cricket in the US, by the way.
Okay.
A few weeks ago, there was this massive crisis with Microsoft. They invested $13 billion into OpenAI. And so they're banking their future on this company. And then the OpenAI board go and fire the CEO. And so it was craziness going on for like 4 or 5 days, where it was this Microsoft stock was going all over the place. And you know where Satya Nadella was during this crisis? In Ahmedabad, watching Australia versus India final. Everybody tried to find him, and they take off from Seattle and fly on to the final. That's how these Indians passionate about them cricket.
Yeah, man, I love cricket.
I think cricket is going to take off even more come the next couple of years, especially with the introduction to Olympics.
Massively. It is the second biggest sport in the world by fan base, by viewership. But I'll tell you a little secret. When we hosted the World Cup in 2007, I sold those television rights around the world, right? Where do you think we sold the largest? What were the largest TV rights were sold? Which country?
India.
Easy guess. Where was number 2? Where was number 2?
Bangladesh, probably.
Probably Australia.
Wrong.
Really?
It's not the States, no.
United States of America.
It's not,
Yeah, United States.
It's Indians. It's the Indian diaspora. That's who it is.
Yeah. And I tell you, if America
they're American. We think of they're American.
Okay.
And what happens is that market has grown up as a subscriber market. You always knew if you wanted to watch cricket on your TV, you had to pay for it.
Yeah.
So they've created a massive television market for cricket in the US, which is why you see now all these Indian billionaires starting Major League Cricket in the US. What do you think the future holds for the West Indies? This little poor part of the country, poor part of the world. So it is not a question of. It makes me sad, because I think we created this thing called T20, you know that?
Yeah.
No.
Because, and hear me out. West Indies, the way we played the game on the field, Test cricket, was like limited overs. So they created the T20 format to get batsmen and bowlers to play the cricket like how we played the cricket, to make it entertaining. And then on top of that, we were the ones that created all the party stands.
Definitely.
Well, that's true. That's undeniable.
They wrote about it, read a book in India where they gave credit to the mound for this thing. We had to battle against cricket's administrators to allow it, eh?
Yeah.
And they then just
we
took
enjoyed it too.
Yeah, I remember being on the mound.
They took it, packaged it, and has made it this billion-dollar industry. The IPL, television rights, domestic rights, 6.2 billion. It's the second most valuable league in the world.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
I get to the same, and West Indies on a whole, and the sport is growing, and it's diminishing in the West Indies.
It is sad because we were the kings of it, and now when it is massive money, we're not going to be able to capitalize on it as we should have. No, I will tell you, what people don't realize is that who do you think the top earning athletes in Jamaica are?
cricketers, right?
Yeah. And with T20 now taking off.
Leon Bailey is probably number one.
Yeah.
After that is all the cricketers.
All the cricketers have been
Yes,
saying.
if you ask anybody on the street, they're gonna tell you
Yes.
the track athletes. Because we love track. And we're very good at it, but it's not a big money sport. The television rights are minuscule compared to cricket. It won't factor in the top 20 television rights for sports.
And even so, I think the sport would even grow more now in Jamaica with the vision that you are proposing as not necessarily branching out from West Indies, but with the T20 aspect. I mean, imagine the high schoolers and I said you're pulling national resources. I mean,
because national resources will flow because of the pride factor. All of a sudden, companies have a reason to sponsor because they're going to get their brand hopefully exposed internationally. It becomes a much bigger thing. I keep telling people, I use an example. A Jamaica versus Barbados game to qualify for the Cricket World Cup is going to be far more important, far more attention than Jamaica. Try to remember the Shell Caribbean. You remember the Shell Caribbean Cup?
Yeah.
Okay, Jamaica played Trinidad in that Shell Caribbean Cup. Does it matter to anybody? Not really.
No.
Jamaica played Trinidad in a World Cup qualifier. Does it matter?
Does matter. Yep. Stadium Park. Yeah.
That is just a microcosm of what I mean by drawing and creating national resources. It matters. It's of importance. So you now have an opportunity to raise sponsorship, television rights, pride, passion.
Everybody benefits, I think.
I'm with you, but we're out of time. And Chris Dehring, thank you for clearing up things as well.
Yeah.
Because I was planning to come at you with some issues, but now that you cleared the air, I'm very happy that...
but hold on. I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping he was going to say separations.
Separation.
Split up the thing, mash up the thing.
Everything.
I was hoping for that because I am of the opinion. I'm a little bit more radical now than Chris' position. But I was hoping Chris was going to say, leave them out. And then we do
test cricket, play Jamaica play test cricket by itself.
I think it would be good. I think it would be a good thing.
Maintenance will become the problem.
But before Chris go, let me tell you one Chris Dehring story. So many years ago, I'm an engineer, right? So I went down to Sabina Park to look at the lighting because they were getting ready for some tournament. And I went to the back gate, blow the horn, and they opened the back gate. Let me in. Went up to the barriers, waiting to say who I was. They just moved the barriers, let me in. I went on the field. I went up close to the pitch and walked around, and I'm saying, I'm not sure this is what I should be doing. So I left. Going through the gate now, several men start run behind me now, and I'm just about to drive out, and a man comes and say, leave something with me, Mr. Dehring. Chris.
So that's the levels of treatment.
And one more, let me tell you one last one now. So there's a restaurant on Holborn Road that used to sell Indian and Thai food. You know a restaurant, Chris?
Holborn. Yes.
Okay,
right down the road from BB&G.
Correct. Went there for lunch one day. And I went there and sat down, and a lady came in behind me, and she was about to give me a hug. And perhaps a little, and when she looked, she said, oh, and she looked shocked and went in the corner looking quite embarrassed.
Yeah. She thought you
Chris Dehring coming up. Yes.
I'm just happy you never get by that lady.
That's a long time ago, though. It's a long time ago.
Yeah. All right, but Chris,
ago.
as usual, thanks for taking the time out to come to join us here on Prime Sports. So
yeah, man. Chris, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
All right. Take care. Very good.
Peter was hoping for him to be radical. Just branch out from the cricket.
Yeah.
And just Jamaica is represented.
I like this position.
My opinion is that I went to school with these people. We are no different from the people in North America than the people in Trinidad. I don't think we're the same people. I mean, we by slavery and colonialism and history, we ended up with the same inhabiting roughly, but we are very far away from Trinidad, you know.
Yeah, I understand.
They eat different things than we
Peter,
do.
The problem is
They listen different music than we do.
I agree. Soca, I agree.
Yeah, we're very different people.
Yeah.
And so
Why not
I
branch
find
off,
it,
huh?
no, but you see what's happening is if we don't have a shared experience, we don't have a shared sense of loyalty. So in my opinion, the West Indies Federation is weak, and is weak because they're not enthusiastic about it. People care more about nationality than they do about this West Indian.
I agree.
When you go to Trinidad, you go in a line with Trinidadian nationals go in and get through very quickly when you're going into Trinidad, and Caribbean people have to sit down and wait. You know what I mean? We're not the same people.
So you think that if they break off totally, them can maintain?
Why not?
Yes, I think that
You know what's going to come like? It's going to be just like a football.
we would
Where
start
you
off
can't
like
pay the people,
Bangladesh.
can they pay them when them go on tour? Can Jamaica pay these cricketers
sure we
those
could.
big salaries
Yes.
when they're going to tour?
Why
It's
not?
not, it's
I'm
not
sure we could.
sustainable.
I'm sure it could.
can.
That is why he's saying T20 only, because when you have tests and you have all they cannot fund it.
That's called a convenient.
Jamaica cannot fund it.
If
They
you
cannot
can't fund it, then don't play it.
No. That's why you have the West Indies, because collectively they can afford to do it that
But
way.
cricket is a money sport.
At the end of the day,
But as Jamaica, Jamaica administration stay, it will break down. They can't maintain it. We can probably maintain
what
the
are we
T20.
what are we maintaining now?
have you watched?
What are we maintaining now with sport?
No. What I'm saying is that when you're doing tests and these things, collectively throughout the Caribbean, they can pay the cricketers. Jamaica as an individual country, they're going to struggle over time.
Let me ask you a question. When is the last time a test match played in Jamaica?
It don't matter. It's playing the Caribbean.
Yeah,
And
but
what does it matter to us? We don't care about the Caribbean.
The cricketers from Jamaica, they're making money through that.
A few of them, very few.
The selected few, but what I'm saying, if we go
why there can be
independent,
more?
Those guys
can
would
Jamaica
still.
pay cricketers at
And
12,
I say
at
yes.
12,
I say
20
yes.
I
I
say
say
yes.
yes. I say
18,
yes.
not possible. If
I
they
say
can't
yes.
even pay the football girls, how them going to pay the cricketers?
Well, if their association is run good.
If you cannot pay your own footballers here, which is a bigger sport, how are you going to pay the cricketers as
That's
a
a separate
Jamaican?
argument.
It's the same thing,
No.
Peter.
Hold on.
You're going to have to manage 80. They don't even have facilities here. You're going to have to manage 18 people, and you're going to have to pay them those salaries that they're getting now from the West Indies. You think Jamaica can do that?
So you're just saying we're just
It's viable.
inadequate for a
Of course, we're
country.
inadequate. We're more
So
than
you're saying we're a
inadequate.
third-rate country,
Exactly my
unable to
point.
pay our own people.
That is why he was telling you about the facilities in the high schools. It is true. It's facts.
Wait. The money that's funding West Indies, where do you think it come from?
It must be coming from the region.
Yes,
It must come from
and if Jamaica, hold on, if Jamaica is unable to pay its fair share,
Yeah.
somebody is overpaying. Who's overpaying?
Maybe the oil-rich guy, I don't know.
Guyana no oil rich.
I'm
Guyana just find out the other day.
What I'm saying,
Venezuela, so who take it right?
it is easier to find the money when you come together as islands. That's all I'm saying.
Listen,
No,
listen.
And
listen.
based on Jamaica
Apart from
track
draw-
record, based on our track record,
Yes.
you know we're gonna.
You're
fail.
talking the country down. You're talking the country down. And I feel bad to hear you, a patriotic Jamaican, talking the country down.
But I
this
agree
manner.
though, the
I agree
T20
with you.
format is fine because it's every 4 years and they can manage that. But to ask them to manage tests and one day and T20 is too much.
Too much? Why? Why
It's
is
not
it too
too
much?
much. It's never
can't
too
afford
much.
it. They
Never
can't
too
afford
much.
Why is it too much?
No,
They can't
I
afford it.
disagree.
much?
I disagree. Cricket can stand on its own.
I think we can stand
and
on our
Jamaica
own.
cricket can stand on
If
its
we
own.
fail, we fail.
We are
But
men.
yeah,
Are we men or
we
mice?
have to try.
Exactly.
We have to try.
Yeah.
We can stand on our own. I think we can stand on our own. And if we fall,
All right,
we just,
all right,
we
all
just
right.
yeah. But then again,
I don't think so.
and then again, cricket is even dying.
I agree.
We are under the West Indies flag right now. It's
Going
dying.
down with the ship.
So
I'm
why
going
not?
down with the
Let
ship.
me ask you
Why
something.
not branch off?
Cricket is dying, right?
Yes.
But our cricketers here, they're making a lot of money.
Don't watch one
No,
man.
no.
Don't
We
watch.
have Jamaican cricketers.
Yeah.
That's making
That is what you
crazy
call.
money.
That's what you call.
Way more than
anecdotal.
the successful track and field.
So
that
why
we
not?
have here.
So why not branch off?
Deal.
Why
Deal.
not branch
The
off?
thing
No,
is sustainable.
they're not getting.
You're
it
going to
from
make the money
Jamaica.
seem-
They're not getting it from
Yeah.
Jamaica. Getting it from the collective.
But more Jamaicans can make it then if we branch off.
But who's gonna sustain and maintain all of that?
Dale,
Jamaica
Dale,
would not keep
Dale.
right now, based
They
on
go sustain on themselves.
based on the trend here in Jamaica in every
But
administration.
how is
problems.
Liam Bailey? How is Liam Bailey making his money?
2 club?
So why not the cricketers can do the same?
They can do it for T20. That's what I'm saying. T20 is fine, but not for Test and one day.
Why? All the money is in T20. No, so the amount of
Yes,
Test
so we
cricket
can break
played.
off for that part.
No,
So why not break
a
off from everything?
Break. It's called a
We
break.
can't maintain.
Yeah.
No,
Dale,
no.
it's like a divorce. You get a divorce and you only divorce on weekends. How that work?
Yeah.
I'm just worried about the
Only on
maintenance
weekends the divorce.
over
They married for 5 days of the week.
Married in the weekend.
But when weekend come, you're flaring.
I just think the maintenance gonna be a problem over time.
Hey.
I don't think our
Such is life.
unless our culture change
Such
and
is
our
life.
mindset change to our
Hey.
things here, I say fine. But as I see it now, I don't think we can
You have to be
manage
brave,
it.
Dale. This is the
You have-
modern.
you have
Yeah,
to-
the mother
you have to
brave.
put
You
your
have
foot
to
out
brave.
in the water.
Brave.
Brave new world. Go it alone.
Yeah. Hey, time for sports commentary.
Okay, we're going over the time, eh?
I'm sorry. Hold on, let me get out my glasses.
All right.
Greetings. Guys, it was great having Chris Dehring on a while ago. I was hoping that Chris Dehring would have stated the radical position that he's been accused of taking. I'm surprised that Chris is kind of tidying it up and softening it up a little bit, because I thought he was going to say, listen, it's time we go it alone. I'm for the go it alone. It's coming into sports commission now. I think that the West Indies team is the last vestige of colonialism, slavery, and historical persecution of the black race. And I'm saying, who will lead us out of into freedom? If it's not Chris Dehring, then it's who? But Chris back away from it a little while ago. I'm a little disappointed. I hope he comments on Primal Sports, because I was hoping that he was taking this strong position. Anyway, you guys been watching the World Team Cup table tennis? There's a competition that the ITTF has introduced now called World Team Cup, where women and men together are playing in the same format, in a particular format, very clever format. Women and men are on the same team with equal importance given to all the games, mixed doubles, men's doubles, women's, all this kind of thing. And it is producing some interesting results, and it is quite thrilling. Guys, if you get the chance, go and watch this kind of thing. It is the thing. It's going, you see how a change in format can make something exciting? Even me, a salted old fellow watching TT for so long, I'm excited to watch it. Granted that it gives equal weight to women's games and so on. But which I find very difficult to have to watch through a woman's game to get to the men's game, you know? But at the same time, because of the points format, it's still exciting and it's still interesting. Not to say anything bad about women's team game, but Harimoto took out Fan Jin this morning, and China squeaked by Japan 8-5, and it was that close. It shows you that Japanese TT is catching up on Chinese TT. But I congratulations to the ITTF for that. Let me also give congrats to, I'm all over the place now, Craig, for leading Mona to the thing. I like when a man back up him talk, and you know, a lot of people don't like Craig Butler because he's braggadocious and bumptious and brash and aggressive, a bit like all of us Jamaicans. And Craig have a philosophy about football that Jamaicans should play to our strengths, and I see it manifest in how his teams play. I see it, you know, when Leon Bailey take it to them, I see a kind of football that make me feel proud to be a Jamaican. When Whisper take it to them, that's how Jamaicans should play. And guess what? Mona, which is not even all that talented a pool, produce a team that is playing aggressive, put it on the ground football, especially in the final third. And so I think that this is the Craig Butler style. We might not, I mean, whatever we say about the man, the talk that the man talk and the passion the man display, I think this, I'm going to make a statement here. I think that Craig Butler needs to be in the national program. In fact, I think Craig Butler, I would support him being the coach of Jamaica. You know why? I like the way that Professor Simmons was able to galvanize the nation and get all Jamaicans behind the team and thinking positive and Jesus saves and all these kind of things. And I think Craig Butler is cut from that same cloth. You see what I'm saying? I think that Craig Butler, what I see him do with Mona, I think he could do it on a larger scale. A lot of people say, no, this is Mona ball and all that kind. No, I think we now have proof that Craig can impose his philosophy. Because the guy who's coaching now hasn't imposed any philosophy on the team, you know. I don't see any, what is the Hallgrim's philosophy? I don't know what it is. I mean, Craig Butler has taken 2 schoolboyish type footballers into the Premiership. Whisper is now playing Chelsea ball. And so now that the man is on top, I said give him his thing there. Did you guys watch Leon Bailey patch a form recently? Leon Bailey has been playing some sumptuous football. He's playing freely, playing like a man who rediscovered his boots. Bunny Shaw scored a hat-trick about 2 weeks ago, right? I'm no big fan of Bunny Shaw, you know. But somebody asked me, why are these people able to excel and score and show their class on the fields of England and they can't do it here in Jamaica or whenever they're called upon for national duty? One clue could be that I saw Leon Bailey, after he scored the goal against Manchester City, he hit the ball into the goal, scored, and then ran to the side of the field and dropped to the ground and on his knees. And the man skated about 25 feet on his knees. What that tell you say? You can do that at National Stadium?
Try it now.
You cannot. If you try it at National Stadium, you will be on bones. Right? It tells you that the quality of the field that Leon Bailey plays his best football is something else, don't? And it tells you that Bunny Shaw can't play this bungle ball with the ball bumping up and down here in Jamaica or wherever the reggae girls are playing. I believe that the quality of the fields and the quality of the equipment that we play sports on, and you guys play a little bit of sports. You play a little bit. And I play a lot. I believe that I believe that there's the difference in the playing equipment, playing conditions. The first time I went to Commonwealth Games in Manchester, England, I took a knock with Dexter St. Louis on the Butterfly Europa tables. Best tables I ever played on at the time. And me and Dexter, we couldn't hit the ball off the table. It was a great experience. You know, I felt like I was a better player than I really am. And next time I played in China, I told you guys this story. We played on carpet for the first time, rubber, right? And I produced, the statistics are there. Kane Watson went and researched the statistics the other day to see why I got the MVP for that group at the World Championships. And it was because I was playing on perfect conditions. And I'm saying if we improve the fields here in Jamaica, we'll produce more Leon Baileys and maybe even a few more Bunny Shaws. No, this strike between Reggae Girls and the new group, I don't even know what to call the new group or which one is the Reggae Girls. But I have a question. I was asked, is there a difference between the ball that the Reggae Girls are playing and the ball that the World Cup crew were playing? Are they much better? The scores don't indicate it, you know. 1-1 draw with Guatemala is in line with the results that we would have expected from the big girls. I hear man saying the big girls would have killed them, would have murdered them. The big girls weren't beating any team 6-love. They wasn't beating no team 4-love or anything like that. It was always 1-love and 1-1 and a draw takes us through to the next round and all that kind of thing. I have a little story before I go. When I was a student in Trinidad, I remember one time this guy came into the library, sat down and asked a girl in the library, you don't mind if I sit with you? And the girl jumped up and says loudly, "What? No, I will not sleep with you." And so the guy turned red. He turned red because the girls loud him up, you know. "No, I'm not sleeping." No, let's say that, Trini. "I ain't sleeping with ya." Loud. And the guy turned red. And the girl come to him and say, "I'm a law student, and I know how to. No, she says I'm a psychology major, and I know how to embarrass you. You see how embarrassed you feel now?" And the guy, she whispered it to him, "You see how you feel now?" And the guy jump up and says, "What? $300 to sleep with you?" Just jump up. And the girl was in turn embarrassed. So the guy looked at her and said, "Well, I study in law and I know how to make people look guilty." That's sports commentary.
All right.
I tell you, yeah. Always give you a laugh at the end of it, eh? I tell you. Aye. I tell you, but I don't know about that MVP. What MVP Peter did win? A self-proclaimed MVP.
Yeah.
But he did produce some good results in that World Championship. I did research that.
2008, right? China?
Yeah,
It was China.
2008 China.
Yeah.
But as I said, quality of equipment or what we play on or whatever we use. I mean, it's a difference in standards. And I've played on some. I can attest to what Peter is saying.
Mm-hmm.
The table and the lighting and the flooring, it enhances your game.
Yeah.
And with Liam Bailey playing on better surfaces and even other footballers, it enhances your game. So we always want good quality.
What you take away from what Chris Dehring said about what we used to do then and what we do now, because we have the same argument about TT and how far the level has gone based on and he made mention of what West Indies used to do back maybe 40, 50 years ago and the glory period, that was a glory period. And he's saying that they're still doing the same thing right now. Yeah. While other countries
are evolving, are moving with the times
and improve the structure and you know.
Yeah.
So that's almost the same thing that is happening
in table tennis
in our sport.
Yeah, in probably almost every sport. Because when you look at the Puerto Ricans, look at even Adriana Diaz, she's top 10 in the world. And
people say, boy, then we can do it, but they don't understand what
Cuban top 100 in the world.
What they
Puerto
did
Ricans top 100 in the world.
I think 2001. Where they had the school in Puerto Rico and they developed the school and they opened up more facilities and they invested first in the sport itself. And then out of that came 10, 15 years down the line came exactly my point.
They had a core, make the core travel, train abroad. Go all over.
Yeah.
I mean, viewed it like a business.
Yeah.
So get sponsors on board.
It's totally
She's like
different.
a superstar in Puerto Rico on billboards.
Yeah. So what
Toyota deals. And
what are we doing
before she could even own a license. Yeah. So what are we doing here?
Yeah.
How do we compete with these countries?
Yeah, we talk about the glory days of the 70s and 80s. I do agree with it. That is a glory days because they won in those times. But if you look, everything is the same now. Yeah. As a matter of fact, it's probably a little bit worse.
But even you look at, we used to produce top level boxers.
Yeah.
When last we produced a top level boxer?
It's the same thing.
Jamaicans used to be known for having good boxers.
Yes. And I'm going to say this. Back in, let's say, the 70s and 60s, on a global scale, I don't think sports on a whole was professional. It wasn't as professional.
No. Sports is a big business now. Yeah, sports is a big business now.
So we were somewhat lucky because I think that back then we were operating more off of talent.
Yeah. We just get up and play.
That's what
Dujan, and then go back to work.
The time Dujan spent in the net was like a couple of hours, maybe an hour, 20 minutes, he said, 20 minutes.
No, if you
can't do that now.
No, the time on practicing, it's on a different level. It's scientific. If you even look at basketball, every sport, it's to
different.
a level.
It's different now.
It's professionalism. And it's a big business.
I tell you this.
You don't have, back then you used to have part-time players in basically every sport.
Every sport.
You play, you go back to work.
Des Douglas said he was part-time.
Yeah.
He was part-time.
People used to just, all right, go to work and then, all right, I'm going to play a match done.
So back then it was talent. It was really talent that stood out back then.
Now, for you to be an elite athlete, it is your profession.
Yeah, it has to
Back
be.
then, you didn't have much professional sports players. You'd be like, all right, you get a little money from playing, then you go work. No, straight work. It's work. It's business. So sports is a business.
A parent of mine messaged me this morning. I know one of my students in Cuba now, playing some little tournament over in Cuba. She messaged me this morning and she said, Dale, these kids play 6 days a week, 2 times a day.
Yeah.
And during holidays, they don't have nothing named holiday.
No. That's the time to play. Holidays the time to play. When you do at school.
They're playing 42 hours a week. And I say, remember I told you that early this year? Yeah. So that's what it is. And these kids are not, we're not talking about 17 and 18-year-old kids.
No.
We're talking about 11, 12, 13, 14-year-old kids in Cuba.
Yeah. And that's what we have to compete against.
That's exactly. And I had an argument to them about third world and first world and developing world. And I was saying that somebody asked me, what is Cuba? Since Cuba produces better. And I said, Cuba, in my opinion, is not really third world. Because the mentality don't suggest that to me. I think third world is a mentality. And it don't suggest to me because everything that's in Cuba, they're doing it the right way.
Their approach.
It's just that because you know what happened in terms of the whole dynamic with
the money
and the embargo and all of these things. But the mentality that's in Cuba is a first world mentality.
That's how they approach life and sports.
Exactly my point. And when she's there now and she says she's amazed, and I'm saying yes, because they are investing
That's
first.
That's what I tell you. Jamaica is not a sporting country. We say that we will approach it. It's just after time. But the few when we look at the elite athletes in Jamaica now, with the likes of Liam Bailey, look at the approach Craig Butler taking to the sport. Look at Stephen Francis, his approach with MVP club. Exactly. They're approaching it with professionalism.
Different mentality.
But the others, they're branching out from the organizing body, the JFF and the J3. They're doing their own thing, and their approach is.
It's different.
It's business. It's sport. But
and Leon,
how we as a country now going to compete or rise to that level with other countries if we don't approach it that way?
The mindset, we're a wagonist country. We're a wagonist here in Jamaica. We only jump on board when things start to go well. And people don't know the history of even Craig them, you know. Leon Bailey never just started playing football the other day, you know. That man got through a whole heap of things. Remember saying for manage them, you know, and how them spend money. Everything in the early stages. So people don't know that you have to invest.
You think first. You just get up and get good? How many hours do you think him go through with?
Of course, different schools, carrying them all over the world, carrying them to Europe.
With the Mona team, how them even treat the football field.
Yep.
Nobody can go on the football field up there. Exactly. Not even the grounds, man. Him said the kids, them plant the seed, them trim the field, them do everything. So what kind of approach is that?
So that's why I'm gonna go back to my point now. When you and Peter are running me down, I'm saying, can Jamaica handle it? Cricket. That's why I went back to this. You know, I'm wondering with our mentality.
But
and
we're
our
already suffering. We're already suffering in cricket. So it's tit for tat.
But can we really manage it if we take on that role? That's all I'm saying. You know, with our if we change mentality. But the role we're taking on, I think we can become successful if we change the way we think. But the way we think now. Look at how them deal with everything. Look at him now.
But it's already dying, so you have to try something. So it's tit for tat. So it's not like it's in a state where you're going to be like, why take it from this state and it's working? It's not working now. So you try something and if it don't work, I mean...
Well, it's not
you think it'll be worse?
It's not working in terms of victories, but it's working in terms of the money.
For who?
For the cricketers that makes the West Indies.
But you're still going to have these cricketers nonetheless.
Yeah.
So you probably have more.
No, but if you have more now, I'm saying can they manage to maintain and to do based on the mindset that we have here? I just don't think it can happen until we change the way we go about doing things. Stop jumping on board at the last minute and start investing first. Well, all right, let us move on to the callers.
Do you remember the phone lines are open? 1-876-552-7406.
I hear Froggy buttering himself over there. Remember Froggy, you over there whispering.
When Froggy's time to talk, him whisper.
Yeah.
And then no, it's not his time to talk. We can hear him loud and clear. So when he gets a time to talk, I want him talk up and talk the things.
I hope you talk to the Froggy.
Yeah, I mean, he clearly he wants to talk. Yeah, but when time comes to talk,
he was interrupting the whole interview. I don't know what is happening.
Yeah, it's like him Froggy in 5 like him with Froggy in 10. Because he look like he a lot on him brain to pick us. So we'll have that in a few minutes from now. But do remember the phone lines are open. 1-876-552-7406, and that's via WhatsApp only. 1-876-552-7406. All
right, so we have the Costa Cup finals coming up. I want to touch on something you mentioned before we start. The Costa Cup finals coming up at about 6 o'clock. Glenmere versus Clarendon College. That is
I mean, cause that's I mean the stadium's supposed to full. I know that Clarendon have a lot of supporters with these schools as well, have a lot of backing, and even so yesterday I was at the stadium and I was surprised at the turnout. Mona versus Heidel was the grandstand was packed. I had to open the bleachers, and bleachers had a good amount of fans in there as well. So it was good to see the turnout at the stadium yesterday. I mean, Stats and JC contested the Walker Cup final prior to the Manning Cup final. And today we see where we have the Ben Francis Cup contested earlier. I think it's about just finished. And then we have the DaCosta Cup, as I said, where Glenmore will take on Clarendon College. And that's a rematch of the Champions Cup final where Glenmore beat CC 3-2, which came to a surprise because everybody has CC as the title favorites to win everything. So they didn't win the Champions Cup, and I'm sure CC want to turn the tide on Glenmore now. So that match is supposed to be keenly contested, and I know right now the stadium is buzzing. But even so, back to yesterday, I was at the stadium. I didn't watch the walk-up final. I made it in time for the Manning Cup final. I mean, the referee waited till I walk in to blow the whistle. Yeah. I think they were waiting on me because I wanted to watch the Manning Cup final. I mean, no matter who's contesting it, it's good to go out there and see the high schools compete for, I think, one of the biggest schoolboy titles. I mean, Manning Cup and you have champs is two of the biggest titles in schoolboy competitions. And we saw Mona versus Heidel. I said, but before that, Stats and JC, I heard there was some controversy to Stats. People say Stats get robbed. I mean,
with the ball rolling.
Yeah, they went to a penalty shootout. I mean, that set a tone for the day where, I mean, everybody's saying that, oh, JC because it's a traditional school and all that. But I'm of the view that if the rule is the rule, if the ball is moving and you're about to kick the ball or kick the ball, I think it's should be a retake, whether or not you score, yes or not. Okay. And people, even so, a friend of mine was telling me, when a keeper infringes and come off his line, and
the
ball goes in, why you don't retake it?
Oh, good point.
No, but I'm saying the keeper is trying to gain an advantage and didn't get that advantage. So why take over about the penalty?
Yeah.
But if the keeper gets that advantage,
what about the
ball rolling?
Isn't that an advantage?
It is not precisely.
So why bother take it over then?
But it's not your fault why the ball is rolling.
Okay. Oh, so I say, I get your point.
Yeah, it's supposed to breeze blowing. You're supposed to breeze blow the ball.
Yeah, I get
or
your
the
point.
Ball never settle right. The field, hill and gully.
It's a different.
Must be a different thing.
Yeah,
so the ball was moving. Clearly, everybody agreed that the ball was moving. Kick the penalty, miss the penalty. What if he had scored? Would you take it over? I think that it should have been a retake no matter what. Once the ball is moving, it should be a retake. And I mean, sorry, Stats. I mean, you get the match to finish off. I never finish off the match, so
Stats have some blockage against JC, boy.
I don't think it's JC alone. I think it's just overall.
Semi-finals, stage finals, can't close out.
I mean, winning is a mentality and
a habit.
And a habit. Yeah, winning is a habit. So JC find a way to lift the Walker Cup. I mean, I'm still not sold on why is it still named Walker Cup because it's a different format now.
Cup.
And Walker Cup traditionally is a knockout cup from back in the day, but that's a story for another day. But JCR Walker Cup champions and on to the Manning Cup champions. Mona defeated Heidel One Love, and it was an entertaining final. I mean, both teams had chances in the game and had some entertaining football. Craig Butler. What can I say about Craig Butler? Yeah. I'm sure he's over the moon. We spoke to him last week and he said that, hey, Mona going to win. I mean, he's confident in the boys and him always saying, Mona going to lift the title. And to see this stretch and run now, going semi-finals last year and the program that him have up by Mona with, obviously most of them are Phoenix footballers. That's his club and brand. And to see Craig Butler now lifting the Manning Cup trophy with Mona, which I would say is a non-traditional high school. Yeah. I mean, Mona winning football is, who would have thunk it? And for him to do this, I think it's a great feat.
Yeah, I mean, is another plus to his legacy.
Yeah, man.
Without a doubt. As you said, Mona, I've never heard of Mona. Maybe hockey, I don't even know, to be honest with you.
I'm sure if you go Mona and look at the trophy cabinet, I'm not sure how many trophies would be in the cabinet compared to, I mean, as I said, the traditional high schools and even so. So
this achievement is a
when you go up now and walk into Mona, you see that Manning Cup trophy in the cabinet.
Yeah.
can you imagine that feeling for the community of Mona? And as you said, Mona Pride, that's your tagline.
I see people putting up all kind of things about Mona now.
Yeah.
Mona students, them old past
Hold
students,
on.
everybody out of the
The
woodwork.
amount of people
peer
I see in a
talking.
Mona jersey and
And
Mona
tie.
tie.
Yes, man.
The sense of pride that him bring to Mona and the Mona past students. Man, what come in, I see people in a Mona shirt myself. First me see somebody in a Mona shirt.
No, but it's true though, you know.
And girl
I've
in a
never seen
tie.
it. I've never
Girl
seen
in
it
a
at the
tie and all
stadium.
these things. The girl probably never even go Mona.
Yeah.
Just to show you the movement him
Yeah,
have
some
at
of them
Mona
paint all
and the
them
fan
face,
base.
man, all the face paint up.
And the supporters.
Yeah.
And not to leave out Heidel.
Yeah.
Kudos to Heidel. I mean, the coach for Heidel, again, top coach. He was doing good at Holy Trinity. Holy Trinity go finals and semi-finals. I mean, didn't get to lift the Manning Cup this year, but I mean, to see Heidel and next non-traditional high school go to the finals, and I mean, somebody had to win.
Yeah.
You know, the news is all about Craig Butler now, but we see where Craig Butler is. And you know him already, a controversial figure.
Yeah,
People always just say,
of it, you know?
of course, with Liam Bailey and Wispan.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it in producing.
Yeah.
In producing, and as I said, to bring Mona to the promised land of winning Manning Cup is one of the biggest sporting achievements in high school competition in recent times.
Of course.
Definitely. And I mean, I mean, after the final now, there was a little eruption in the stadium, and it probably overshadowed a bit of what really took place in Mona winning on the field. But there was no award ceremony due to crowd indiscipline, people going on the field. I mean, and even at one point, they locked the light off in the stadium, and the stadium was still full. And the organizers locked the light off in the stadium. And the next course of action with the people in the stadium, battles start showing and all of that. So
It's in discipline.
yeah, the indiscipline. And I think the organizers need to take a note of how better to prepare. And we see year after year with teams win and the fans go on the field. I mean, you know that going to happen.
But that's bad.
But you have to prevent it.
I don't see that. I see or hear of something like that.
There was no sking.
I mean, as I said, police officers there and I'm sure security tightened up today more. So, but it wasn't a good showing after that spectacle of having a good Manning Cup finals. What took place after was, I think, fall on the organizers' fault, Issa. And
It's a problem.
Yo,
It's a problem.
tell you
It's
what,
a problem.
It's a problem.
it's a tell you,
It's a
but
problem.
So-
It's a problem.
so going forward, I think organizers should look to better crowd control and all of that. Because as the match done, you see people just go on the field. Even the bleachers open up. You know, you have to take precautions to people's safety and all that.
I wonder if they thought that maybe because
Even-
it's two non-traditional schools, they weren't expecting like
probably-
a big turnout.
But it was a big turnout,
It was a
and I
big
mean,
turnout.
Yeah. I'm just saying
and
because Mona and
and a lot of kids were there as well.
Yeah, young
and I
son.
imagine your first option is to just lock the lights off the field.
If
Just
you
you
remember
want to
say-
control the crowd by locking the lights off. That to me, that is total madness.
If you remember,
Remember, you
regardless
have
of
young kids there, and I mean, that is prone. Something could happen there, and who would take responsibility for all of that? So, I mean, going forward, the organizers need to
But
look
you have
into
to-
that.
But you have to remember,
We're in
if
2020.
even though- even though
how many incidents of this from 20, 30 years ago? We're still talking about
Going forward.
learning from this.
The
now.
year is 2023, but it's Jamaica in 2023.
Oh my God, problem. man.
Yeah,
But I'm
but
just saying, how many times them things happened in the past, and we should have known. But as I said, maybe them
Shoulda
maybe
know.
never expect the
Oh,
kind of
boy.
turnout still based on the
but
two
I
schools.
was
a good match though.
yeah, man, and I was happy with the turnout. It was, trust me, when I look where I'm like, yo, grandstand full, and then you look at the people in the bleachers same way.
Yeah, it's
I'm
that.
sure today I have more crowd because
man.
the whole of Clarendon I come up for that.
The Clarendon Derby.
Yeah,
call it,
man,
right?
a big make it worse than play last week in the Champions Cup. I mean, if I wasn't doing primary, I'd be at the stadium right now. Yeah, but yeah, and I'm sure it's going to be a good match. So next week we'll have a breakdown of the Ben Francis Cup and the DaCosta Cup as it is all unfolding now. So we'll have more info on that next week, and then you're going to have the Oliver Shield where you have the winner of the Manning Cup will play the winner of the D Cup, and then now you can imagine Craig Butler now All Ireland champions,
All
Mona.
Ireland
And Mona is
champions.
undefeated for the season in Manning Cup. They lost in Champions Cup, but imagine Mona winning the All Ireland title as well. Oliver Shea.
Okay, yeah.
Well, that just put another feather in Craig Butler cap, and I'm taking a professional approach on what I like. I'm trying to nurture the footballers and prepare them not only for winning Manning Cup, get them in programs in Europe and playing football. But nothing wrong with going to Malta, Belgium, building up and playing football. It's
Step
work.
at a time. Step
It's
at a
work.
time.
And as I say, with their whole Jamaica tag and how we approaching sports, sports is a business. You don't have no part-time players.
Yeah.
Imagine me playing table tennis. I can't be a professional table tennis player.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm playing against professional table tennis player when I travel.
Exactly.
I'm playing. Well, I'm retired now, but I'm just saying.
And I'm
So you say?
Yeah, but you're playing against professional players.
42 hours a week is no.
You have to. That's what they're doing. They're all over playing tournaments and training camps. They wake up, it's table tennis. It's work. Yeah. It is work.
And you know what I like when the parent messaged me? Oh, and you know that in Christmas and holidays they don't get holidays? And
No,
I say, yes.
That's what I remember when
That's a sacrifice.
I remember when I used to when I was a youngster and summer. My summer wasn't about partying or going.
No.
I used to go JDF and play TT 6 days a week. I would play 7, but my grandmother said I have to go church on Sunday.
You ever get a rest day though?
But I wanted to play TT on Sunday.
Exactly.
That's how I improved in table tennis in a short space of time.
Of course,
and I mean, my grandparents never used to cuss because them see the trophy them are coming under 13, under 15, under 17, and senior level. So I mean, you have to put in the work.
Of course.
And then when you leave high school now, that is the gap now where you bridge to go professional.
Yeah.
But even so, even in high school, you should treat it professionally. That's what they're doing.
From day one.
From day one. You can't wait till you leave high school to treat it professional.
Set up the structure and the system in place from day one.
It's a part-time thing in Jamaica. I hope. But
all right, people. I know now it's time for Fragging 5.
Might be Fragging 10 because you look like you have a lot to talk about.
Got a lot to talk about.
All right, go ahead, Frag. Your time.
It's good afternoon again, viewers out there. Chris Dehring. And last week I took a stance and I said I was in full agreement because he was talking about a full breakaway and I was saying yes. But then I started thinking about it and I was saying, all right, let me backtrack a little bit. And I'm do a little research to see what is going on. And I'm partially in agreement with him, but I'm not in agreement with this partial movement, T20 and stay in West Indies. Doesn't make any sense, really and truly. It's either you're going full-fledged or you're not in it at all. And when you look, the ICC have around 108 nations in it. And of those 8 nations, you have 12 who are full members. We know the top 12. Mm-hmm. And arguably enough, Afghanistan became a member in 2018, a full member in 2018, a full member. And also Ireland. I know that that's when they basically made their debut and they start playing test cricket 1 year later. You get me? When you look at, when I mentioned United States and Oman and all these other nations, did you know that the United States was in cricket in 1965?
No, I didn't know that.
Bahamas is a part. So it's split up. You have 12 nations who are 12 full-fledged members. They have 96 associate members. Those associate members can play in some local one-off tournaments and some local one-day series tournaments against each other and whatever to gain that status as complete members afterwards. Bahamas basically have status, can play one day for themselves since 2017. Bermuda since 1966. Cayman since 2002. You mentioned the Netherlands. Netherlands could have played cricket from 1966 as well, because they are association members. So they have a little experience. Oman was in 2014, and he mentioned Oman, Panama in 2017, Qatar in 2017, and I already mentioned US from 1965, and Uganda from 1998. These are nations who are part of an association. So if you want to bring Jamaica to that fold, they have to be association members first before we can even think along the line. And they have to play some one-day international tournament amongst themselves before we can even think about ICC World Cup or T20 World Cup. It is a as a kid, it's a business. It's a massive investment if you want to do this. And they can't do it partially. Again, where was West Indies get their money from? They have to get it from the ICC. How many other countries within? How many of the islands make up West Indies? And how many of them are actually gaining more money than others? I'm sure Jamaica is not getting much. I'm very sure of that. So if you want to do this, and I'm saying this today, and as what Peter said, go out there and tell him, let's get out fully and let's do it. It's going to take a massive investment. Yes, we're going to need grounds. We already have Sabina Park. We already invested money in Chilani Multipurpose. That's 2 grounds we have. We only need probably 1 more. Sabina can hold 16,000 people. Chilani probably can hold around 10. We don't need no more than each ground can hold up to 10 to 15 persons, 15,000 persons in Jamaica to start a team. When it comes to paying them, we can. It's all about how many money do you want these players want. We're paying the reggae boys even though they quarrel. We're paying the reggae girls even though they quarrel. So it can work. Even if we do a 1-day T20, we're going to need tours. We still have to pay these players tours. We can't think about ICC World Cup and the T20 tournament. So what are you going to do within the 4 and 2 years span? The players are just going to sit down there not doing anything? Just sit and not playing any cricket? What about the regional tournament? How does this affect regional tournament? If we break away halfway, we're going to say, okay, we can still play a regional tournament. If we break away full, can we still play within the region? Are we going to have an A team? So it's a lot, as I spoke about last week, Jamaica is not fully ready to be a sporting nation. To be quite frank, we're not ready. The Caribbean is not ready on a whole because we need a massive team behind it to drive it. T20 was brought up by Alan Stanford. He tried it in a one-off tournament, and the popularity and the excitement it garnered, it branched off into something else. We as the West Indies, we didn't use it to our advantage. And he's saying something about using our natural resources. How many sports are there in Jamaica that has been using the natural resources of Jamaica?
It's a national
resources to try get that money, that funding in. Where does the funding go? Where it go? We don't know. Probably we need to just start something by the name of sport tourism. So if we keep a tournament here and the tourists coming in, a portion of that money goes back to that particular sport. So if table tennis have a tournament and we bring in like 90,000 tourists or 1 million tourists to the country because of that tournament, a portion of that money should go directly to Table Tennis Association so they can use that money to uplift.
Or put it in their pockets.
To uplift the table tennis itself. We need a sports tourism because we're going to talk about driving natural resources. Not driving natural resources. We have been doing that. We're bringing tourists to the country. How much time? Because of sports. How much of it goes back to the sport itself?
It's like all into the tourism sector.
Go on back in the tourism, yeah, man. How much of it
hotels and all of this.
How much of it go back to the sports? Maybe that's where we need to tap into. Take a portion of what we are bringing into the country via sport and take advantage of it. Build each sport. We have failed to build with Bob Marley. So how are we going to build with that sport? The brand of Bob Marley is a legend around the world. And what have we done with it? We never do nothing with Bolt either.
Nobody's really held accountable.
We don't really do nothing with Shelley either.
We know.
And we still not do nothing with Alien.
No, what are we doing?
Let us not put. You have Bolt and you have Bob Marley. Leave this right here for me.
Okay then. Peter is
that pull factor.
But look at Peter is exploiting China. Why didn't we just capitalize on that?
What?
What I've just said, we have failed to capitalize on so much things. If we want to do this thing and break away, it can work because the youth them.
If they break, they can't do it partially. They have to do it fully.
Just do it fully because some of
the rules. That's what you're saying.
It's not rules. A lot of these nations have done it partially, but they can't go any further. Them not develop. So if we're gonna do it, if we're gonna go partially, we're gonna go partially. Just go full fledged. Start out within the 1-day ranks and build up your rank until you can get a status. So we can start off at that point. But we're gonna need these.
What if there's a West Indies team and a Jamaica team separate? What do you think that would?
That would work well. West Indies.
Jamaica to play against West Indies.
Yeah. Right here at Sabina Park. I'm
Jamaica
guaranteed
versus West Indies.
Sabina Park will be full.
You can Guyana at Trinidad, they might go and break away too. That gonna be the
So
The replay effect, if Jamaica
It
stand
will be
by-
a replay effect.
I mean, why not?
And T20.
Other sports, there's no other sport. There's no other sport.
Take over the market.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're looking at the trend. T20 will take over the market. So is there a space for testing?
But as Peter said, though, with this whole West Indies thing, which other sport we compete where, yes, we compete as West Indies as a combined nation. There's no other sport. So why are we stuck in, as I said, Peter, the colonial days, the slavery days? Why are we still stuck in it?
So we'll break off.
What's so special about cricket? Why we have to compete as West Indies?
You know why I want to
We can't compete as Jamaica. I agree, Peter.
Why we have to play test? Well, if we break away, why we have to play test?
We don't have to. We can stay within the
Is there money in test cricket?
Yeah, money still in test
money in
cricket. Money in
everything.
cricket right around the board.
Right around the board.
Test cricket.
Yeah.
It's not dead. I'm wondering if we break off still. What I'm saying, we can just start with T20.
And the one days.
that's
Because
it.
myself, I'm 1 days and then I graduate into T20 and then afterwards you can again.
So you have to start as a one-day country.
Yeah, man. That's where you start out.
Okay.
Test status is the last of it.
Why not, bro?
1 day you have to start over. But guess what?
What is the West Indies really?
Yeah, who are they?
No, but when I
West Indies
think about
What's
it
the
in
West Indies
hindsight,
really?
Let's start bash the
No,
West Indies, so-
No, I didn't look at it. It's
when I really
a back of the thing, right?
when I really look at it,
Wait,
you
so
know,
we need to
you
move on.
know
Come on,
you
move
know
on
the
from
only
that, man.
reason why I want to stay partial to the West Indies because you can still gain a little money over this. So
It's fear.
Exactly.
that is the only reason why I want to stay. There. But will they choose Jamaican players to play in West Indies, knowing that Jamaica branch off by themselves?
Oh, that's another point.
Will they choose Jamaican players? We already have them not choosing us already.
Who are they?
West Indies Cricket Board.
West Indies Cricket Board, Peter. You know them in shambles already.
So we do it thing myself.
Throw them out.
Yeah. Just
go
do it
fully.
thing myself, yeah.
It's a massive investment, yes, but it will be worth it.
How massive investment? We pick 16 guys to go play some cricket.
Yeah. It will grow.
It will grow.
I agree, you know, but my problem is just how we deal with things here in Jamaica. That's my problem.
That's
Probably we need over.
but
Probably
that's
we need
the thing in
overseas
every sport.
investors.
Football, we doing it.
Yeah, we do it with the every sport. Why we can't do it to cricket?
I think the nature of I think cricket is different from football. Remember, these guys go on tours, you know. It's different. It's slightly different.
Yeah, but you're going to tours at T20 anyway.
No, Peter, you don't tour in football.
sport has
No, Peter, football and cricket is different. Is that different?
Yeah, but you can't wait 4 years to play a
And
tournament to
I'm
get
saying,
money.
wait, but I'm saying in cricket, yeah, you go on tours, 3-4 tours per year.
Yeah, tour with the West Indies. Touring at the West Indies then.
So where the money gonna come from? Who want to watch Jamaica versus?
West Indies?
No, why we get income is because we go against India, we go against
If Jamaica play Barbados at Sabina Park for whatever a T20 match and there's a mound there and there's also a mound there,
Yeah.
would you go?
Yeah, but it's different. But
For a spot in for a qualification to play
no, I'm
something
not
else
talking about
with something on the
TV
line.
rights, you get most. What I'm saying is this: as the West Indies, when you go to tour and you go to India and all that, you make way more money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
The money is a part of the thing.
So
You're gonna make money regardless.
Not the same amount.
You
Playing
gonna make
against
money-
Barbados, no.
No, but you have to start somewhere. We're not saying to
We're not gonna
as
say we're
Peter said,
against
it's going to be
Barbados.
a qualification for
The only
a next tournament that we're going to play against India.
I'm just wondering if when these guys go on 1 month tours and 2 months, can they afford to pay them? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
if they can't? What if they can't? We still have to try.
Is the Jamaica Cricket Board having
Still
problems
have to
paying the
try.
Jamaican cricketers
I say
now?
branch off. I say branch
I
off.
don't have any. I don't have any.
West Indies is a
issues that pay them now.
backdating, Peter. West Indies are backdating.
So you want to branch out?
Fully. That's why I said fully. Because we're
Cricket
still
by
stuck
itself.
on the whole West Indies pride of the
least-
days of.
And change
you know,
out.
At least we're all used for the multi-purpose.
What is West Indies really? What is West Indies really? Look at it. What is West Indies really?
Imagine have West Indies football team.
I remember, as I said, T20 going to be an Olympic sport
Yeah, T20 is definitely going to
in
take over the whole
2028.
market.
So,
and
It's choose a T10.
And once it reaches in the States, you might be getting scholarships to universities very soon.
how many,
And it's back in the States already. 'cause
how
it was
many
there
countries
before.
compete in other sports in the Olympics? The same number of countries compete. The only, West Indies is probably the only combined
Presently today,
in any sport all over the world. When you look at it, which region have a combined sports team that compete against other countries?
Trinidad and Tobago. We We need to split them up too.
no,
Yeah.
no. They got something different though, Peter.
Yeah, so we might have to change. Well, as
Yeah,
time
man.
go along, you have to change.
What is
up
the
things.
So-
West Indies really? What is the West Indies really?
But again, the
as-
part that is
It's
in,
the only thing that will combine yourself in
again the
and
part
compete in sports.
the part that I'll stress on.
Why?
All right, we have to
Natural
wrap up now. We have to
resources.
wrap up, so
I know.
finish
The
off.
part I'm stressing on is the natural resources. We need to find a way, if we're going to do this with the cricket, find a way to ensure that the money gained goes back into the Jamaica Cricket Board or Jamaica Cricket Association, so we can build on it.
Find
And
a
this
way. You want to
fa-
find a way.
It has to find a way. If it's
So we can
sports,
account for. Yeah.
if it's sports tourism, it's sports tourism.
And
You
talking.
got right back to my same issue. You know?
Yeah. We know your issue, but we have to just deal with the issue.
I
It's
will
up
try
to
to
deal with the
solve it
issue, yeah.
over the next 30
And
years.
talking
all right.
about money, we never even touch on the big baseball contract, but next week I'll talk more about that because
Baseball contract.
Shohei Ohtani just signed a 10-year, $700 million Japanese pitcher. 10 years, $700 million. The biggest deal before that in baseball
70
was
million a year.
9 years, 360.
Five
You know how
mi-
much is 10 years, 700 guaranteed?
Oh,
Money.
guaranteed
Money.
Right, it's him can get injured next
How
year.
much money you think? How much you think money you think LeBron make over his career in basketball?
Billion?
Okay.
No, me just for playing. We're not talking about endorsement.
Boy, I like the money, but
You
the
think LeBron
money,
makes $700 million?
the money starts to corrupt the
Oh.
sport down, boy.
10 years,
I tell you.
$700 million.
That's 70 million a year.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's corrupt.
10 years,
Sorry,
700
not
million.
corrupt the sport. Sorry, my bad, people. I meant the level will go down as the money go up. That's what I meant.
They won't,
Hey,
they won't put all
once you
the
have
effort
people
in.
watching, once you have people watching,
Yeah, but they deserve it.
put
still.
fans in the
Because they
stands.
Put fans in the stands and everything.
And a whole heap
but you have to
of
talk
games.
about that next week.
Next week, we're
It's been so
talking.
long, but anyway.
No, man, the cricket sweep with this week. But
Yeah.
I mean,
We
yeah,
have to wrap up now.
if we wrap
guys.
up right now, and I mean, you don't know, we have to give a big thanks to Chris Dehring to taking the time out to come and clarify and talking to us. Yeah, talking to us on
man.
Primal Sports today. I mean,
Big
I
footballer would
found
never know
the
that.
interview quite,
Yeah.
I mean, informative,
Of course.
and I know he's a big sportsman. Yeah, people just see him and think of business and all of that, but even so, we learn about that we used to play cricket and football to a decent level. Yeah, national level up to under 20. So yeah, I have to big him up for taking the time out and doing the interview today, Primal Sports.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean,
RKC.
yeah, and thanks to all the listeners and viewers out there on the Primal 4K app. I mean, 50 Fit FM 96.7. I mean, YouTube,
World Wide Web.
Facebook, the World Wide Web, as my co-host would say. And yeah, so up next is DJ Teachem, and from the Primal Sports Desk, you know, keep safe and one love from the team here.
Season's greeting.